Hello and welcome to tonight's live broadcast. My name is Jeneen Barlow, and I am here to welcome you to Wake Up Your Life with the Sisters of SOS. I am delighted to be here presenting with you this evening on a topic that is close to my heart. It's close to my heart because my husband, Omar Barlow, and I have been developing this information through our Destiny Statement Institutes for over 13 years now. We've seen it work for many other people, but most of all, we've seen it work for ourselves over and over and over again. And so what I'm going to do in the next 30 minutes is share with you from one of the foundations of our Destiny Statement Institute, in which we help people to discover and refine their life's mission and purpose, the 4 pillars of purpose. These are 4 essential keys that we have learned over the past several years will help people, whether they're at the beginning, the middle, or towards the ends of their journey in living a life of passion and purpose. These are 4 principles that are the underlying guidepost, if you will, to helping you stay on track and get on track on this wonderful journey of living lives that will fulfill the purpose for which we were placed in the earth. My name is Jeneen Barlow. Let's get started. First, I'm going to start with sharing with you from some slides that I have here, and we'll go through the slides, but I'll come back because I want to interact with you. I want to see you. I've been excited about looking into your eyes and sharing this information with you, and letting these words not only become words that you can apply to your life, because the how of making this work in your life is very, very important to me. I want you to be able to apply it immediately and see results. But also, I want the words that I share with you to empower and trigger something in your heart, in your mind, that makes you want to go that next step towards reaching out to the people who are waiting for you. And so we're going to jump into this information right now. I'm going to share my screen with you. And as I do that, you'll see some slides and we'll get started. Now, if by chance, because we are dealing with technology here, anything happens where you lose us at some point, do not worry. Simply refresh your screen or click the link that got you into this webinar and you'll join us again. Okay? Here we are. The 4 pillars of purpose from Barlow Enterprises. Now, one of the things that I always start with, and some of you may have heard me speak across the nation or in workshops on virtually the Destiny Statement Institute, I always begin with, and I start with this because it's a key part of my life. I live by it. It's one of my guiding principles, is this: if you succeed in your life, you will be able to trace it to those you choose to honor. The flip of this is also true, which is if you fail in areas of your life, you will always be able to trace it back to those who you have chosen to dishonor. This is one of my guiding principles, to redirect my course when I get off track. And it helps me to be careful about who I choose to link myself up with so that I can make sure that I'm on track to fulfilling the purpose that I was placed here to do. And so I just want to share with you a few people who I want to honor. Thankfully, I've been very blessed. My husband, Omar, and I, we could have a whole presentation on people we choose to honor. But one of those, a few of those people we're going to share with you right here, Mr. Les Brown and Mr. Barry Donaldson, have been definitely people who have influenced us and walked with us and given us personal guidance, gotten us to where we are today. That after 13 years, even I can say that after meeting them and coming under their leadership and their guidance and their mentorship, that we saw the work that we have been doing accelerated. And so I just want to say thank you to these gentlemen and acknowledge them as people who have helped us succeed on our path. This next person I cannot wait for you to see. This is Lady O herself. Now, I had the privilege and the honor of connecting with Miss Odessa Hopkins, who is the person who is the reason why we are here today, waking up our lives. And I just want to say to her, thank you. Thank you for leading with heart and excellence, and for telling us the hard things, and for praising us when we do well. We appreciate you for taking the courage to make SOS go. And we look forward to things even more extraordinary than what's happening right now, coming out of your obedience to the mission and the call on your heart to do this. And we recognize you today, Lady O, and we say thanks. Now let's get in to the 4 pillars of purpose. Here are some essential keys to living your more excellent life. Now, I want you to write this down. The guiding principles here come from a proverb. And the proverb, purpose in the heart of a man or woman is like deep water, but a man or woman of understanding will draw those purposes out. Purpose in the heart of a man or a woman is like deep water, but a man or woman of understanding will draw those purposes out. Listen, if you're listening to my voice right now, it's because you're a destiny seeker. And destiny seekers have to be intentional about who they link up with. It's not being mean. It's being very clear that you have a limited amount of time to pour yourself out, as King David said, to your generation. To, as he said, die empty. And if we're going to do that, we need to be intentional about every step of the way. And so the 4 pillars of purpose are built on that proverb. Purpose in the heart of a man or woman is like deep water, but a man or woman of understanding will draw it out. Now, here are your 4 pillars. Number 1, check your heart. Number 2, dive deep. Number 3, seek understanding. And number 4, flow. Now, why is it important for us to check our heart? Let's talk a little bit about that. One of the reasons that I always say that checking your heart is essential is because we, as entrepreneurs and mothers and wives and business people, as employees, as nieces and daughters, whatever role it is that is significant to you in your life, oftentimes we find ourselves, and sometimes we're even encouraged to look outside of ourselves for the answers, particularly in American society. But the interesting thing is that the proverb that I gave you, the guiding post for what we're learning today, it gives you a clue for where we need to look first. Purpose, if that's what you're looking for, in the heart of a man or woman is like deep water. Where is it? It's in your heart. It's close to you. A famous poet said it this way: birth is but a sleeping and a forgetting. What does that mean? I'm the mother of 3 young children, Joshua, Grace, and Nathaniel, 7, 9, and 12 years old. And I can see as they develop how they've shown us who they are, even from their youth, from their infancy even. And why we believe that is that you are so much closer to your eternal plan, your eternal destiny as a child, because as you grow up, there's so many things that come to try to pull that out of you. And so as we grow, we become people who are seeking to answer that quiet longing in our heart for what our purpose is, what our passion is, because that's what we were always placed here to do. Children give us clues. Our birth is but a sleeping and a forgetting. And so as we get away from our childhood, forget it. But the wonderful thing is this. Another proverb said, guard your heart, right? Why? Because out of it flows the well springs of life, the answers the joys, the answers to what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Heart. So pillar number one is check your heart, because in your heart is where the questions are being asked. That's from where the questions come. What am I good at? What do I love? In our Destiny Statement Institute, we talk about the 5 questions that you must answer in your life. You know, what would you do if you had no fear? What would you do if you knew that you would win every time? What do you love to do? What makes you cry? These are all ways that your heart speaks to you and gently ushers your purpose and your passion. Let's take a look at what pillar number 2 is. Pillar number 2, I love. And once again, pillar number 2 is found where? Right in the proverb. Pillar number 2 is this. Write it down. Dive deep. Why is pillar number 2, dive deep? Let's go back to our foundation. Purpose, where? In the heart of a man or woman is like what? Deep water. So we already were reminded that the first place we need to look for our purpose is in our heart. But then pillar number 2 takes us a step farther and says that we should dive deep. Now, in the midst of our research over the past several years about what the reason that we found the proverb tells us to dive deep is this. There's this concept called deep ocean water. Deep ocean water is a scientific concept. Engineers teach us that there is a quality that the water deep below the Earth's surface possesses that the water at the more shallow surfaces of the ocean does not possess. Purpose in your heart is like deep water. What does that mean? I'm going to give you 2 reasons. I can't give them all to you, but I'm going to give you 2 reasons right here that I never want you to forget. Purpose in your heart is like deep ocean water because the water at the depth of the ocean surface has a quality of saltiness, and it carries, the scientists and engineers tell us, a different energy gradient. This is exciting. Than the water that is at the surface. Now, as a destiny seeker, you are more salty and you have a different energy than people who are just living on the surface of life. Isn't that exciting? I've been teaching it for years and I get excited every single time I say it. And so salt does what? Salt has a quality of preserving, doesn't it? So as a person who is living on purpose, who is in her passion and in his destiny, who is doing your, as we like to call it, life's work, when you come on the scene, people say, wait a minute, something's different about him. Something's different about her. Why? Because you have the ability to preserve what you come in contact with, just like the water at the depth of the ocean. What else can you do? You have the ability to change the atmosphere because you're living with a different awareness, a different energy. The water at the depths of the ocean surface, they go for that water to change all kinds of environmental issues. And the same is true of you. When you live on purpose and you live with this awareness that your purpose is deep inside, when you come into certain atmosphere, you change the environment because the energy you carry is different from the norm. Let's look at pillars number 3 and 4. Pillar number 3, write this down. Again, it comes from the foundational principle. Purpose, where? In the heart of a man or woman is like deep water. But a man or woman of understanding can draw those purposes out. Let's look at pillar number 3. Pillar number 3 is seek understanding. Seek understanding. Now, this pillar has two distinct parts. Number one, who am I seeking understanding from, Jeneen? Number one, you need to seek understanding about yourself. It goes back to that heart piece. They're intricately related. Getting to a space of quiet and peacefulness and journaling and asking for constructive feedback and applying the changes and reading in your area of expertise. All of this is a part of mastering. As I talk about in my book, Don't Be Scared, Be Speak, we talk about the 5 M's in there. And one of the M's is to become a master of what you do. This is all a part of mastering who you are so that you can bring it to the world in excellence. Why? And we'll talk about this in a little bit. Because people are waiting for you. Number 2, under seek understanding is this. Seek out people of understanding. You saw me mention some of my mentors, some of the people that I feel compelled to honor along this path because of the information and the kindness and the resources that they've poured into me. And so you need to be careful to seek people of understanding. Look for people who can help you get to where you need to be. Now, when we talk about seeking understanding, I want you to remember this. One of the fastest ways that you can accelerate your growth, can accelerate your ability to get where it is that you desire to go, is to be mentored. I wish I had learned this sooner, but I will say it time and time again. Once I began to seek out the right mentors and connect with them and invest, as we teach in our 5 pillars and our 5 pieces that we teach in Don't Be Scared, Be Speak. One of them is that you have to make sure that you connect and do the time, the investment, the money, and the energy that it takes. You have to invest the time, the initiative, the money, and the energy that it takes in order for you to get where you want to go. If you are not ready to pay the cost, then you're not ready to get to where it is that you say you want to go. And so when we begin to invest the time, initiative, money, and energy into connecting up with these people of understanding who we sought out, now, we paid careful attention to whether what they had to offer, what they brought to the table, was in synergy with where we were going, because there will be some good mentors. But if there's not a synergy, if there's not a connecting in the heart and in your research about what they do to where that's going to help you get where you need to be, they may be excellent, but they may not be excellent for you. And so you need to make sure that you do not forsake this often overlooked piece to accelerating your success. Connect with the right mentors. Humble yourself. Apply what it is they tell you. Make the investment of time and energy into doing this, and you will see very fast changes in the positive towards what it is that you were placed here to do. So that's pillar number 3. Seek understanding of whom? Of yourself, and seek out those people who can help us into your purpose and passion in life. This leads us to pillar number 4. I'm going to tell you what that is. It's one of my favorites. Pillar number 4 is flow. Flow. I use pillar number 4. We derive this from a very famous psychologist, internationally known. His name is Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. And this is the piece that you need in order to get it all done, right? How do I get it all done? People ask me, Jeneen, how do you get it all done? You're married, you run a business, you have 3 young children, you're always spending time with them. You see me talking about the homework and the activities. How do you make it work? You've written a book, you speak. I make it work because I'm living in flow. I took the time to find out what my mission and my vision are in the 7 key areas of life. I wrote it. I reflected on it. I did the research to see what I should be reading and listening to and who I should be speaking to so that I could become extremely laser focused on what it is that I need to do. And what this does for me and what it will do for you is it will help you to understand what to say yes to and what to say no to. Who to say yes to and who to say no to. What projects you should take on and which ones you shouldn't. Which speaking engagements you should receive and which ones you have to say, I may need to refer you to someone else. I can't do it this time. Because many good things and sometimes bad things come your way. But when you live in flow, you're unstoppable. Athletes understand this. Artists understand this. People who have grasped onto their life's work understand this. Flow is what gets you into a space. Like as a painter, I remember times of being in the studio and not eating or drinking for days at a time working on a project and it not even phasing me. Why? Because I was in flow. I remember writing the book and being able to go for hours and hours and hours without sleep and then being awake still when my children got up and doing what they needed and going back to writing because I was in flow. You have to have experienced that time when you were drumming or playing your violin or on the basketball court. This is what we want you to get into. We call it the zone. But what we're encouraging you to do is get so clear about what your life's work is that just like an athlete, just like an artist, you can get into that state as it relates to your life's work because you'll know that this is exactly where I belong. That's pillar number 4, flow. Now, in our Destiny Statement Institute, when we have much more time to do this, we show you a video about an artist. It's a wonderful example of being in flow. And Beck, I want you to go look his video up and see what an example of flow that is. Send me an email and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. And so here we have all 4 pillars of purpose. Let's look at them together one more time. Check your heart, dive deep, seek understanding, and flow. They all come from that proverb that tells us that purpose in your heart, friends, is like deep water. But a man or woman of understanding will draw it out. Now, I want to leave you with one of the major reasons that is so significant for you to grab onto these and apply them to your life and to your work. You know, some of you think it's too late, but there's a story of a gentleman who was 27 years old when he found his life's passion and purpose. Before that, he had done so many different things. He didn't know whether he was the right. He was a preacher. He was a teacher. He sold wares in the marketplace. He did so many different things, but eventually he caught on to painting. And at the age of 27, he had finally discovered his purpose. And guess what? Even though he was in his late 20s when he found it, time was not of the essence. It was not an issue at all. How do I know? I know because from that point forward, he rendered over 800 paintings. We can't even count the number of drawings he's done when you study this in history. But he could constantly be found painting overnight without eating, without sleeping. This gentleman's name was Vincent van Gogh. What I need you to remember is that time is not an issue when you get into your flow. Don't believe the lie that it's too late. Wipe it out of your mind. Get it out of your system altogether. And know this. You have to be, write this down, responsible to fulfill your life's mission and purpose. Why are you saying that, Jeneen? Listen, to be responsible means that you need to respond to your ability to make a change in someone else's life. I'm going to say it again. To be responsible means that you are choosing to take the responsibility to make a difference in someone else's life. Well, so many other people are doing what I thought I wanted to do, you might say. Or maybe you're flowing in your passion and purpose, but you're not quite where you want to be yet. Keep going. Why? Because no matter who else is doing something similar to what you're doing, there is something unique that you bring to the experience, something you bring to the writing, something you bring to the speaking, something you bring to the teaching, something you bring to the coaching, something you bring when you get behind the camera, something you bring when you play that instrument, whatever it is, whether it's dancing or some sort of competing, if you wanted to do bodybuilding or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You must do it because someone is waiting for you. And although there are many others who may do something similar, that one boy, that one girl, that one woman, that one man is waiting to see you. They're waiting to hear from you. And so you must respond to your ability so that they can get where they need to be. No excuses. No being down on ourselves. We're picking ourselves up. We're waking ourselves up, and we are shaking off the dust and moving forward. I'm going to share a story with you as I close about the ability that we have to move forward and how important that is. So I have a 7 and a 9 and 11-year-old. Well, a few years ago, I would say my eldest was about 8 or 9, which would mean that Nathaniel, the baby, was about 4 years old. Now, my Joshua loves Legos. He's very pensive. He loves numbers and thinking, and he speaks very little, but when he does, you better listen. It's going to be something good. So he's building. Around Christmas, he got this Lego set that he really, really wanted. It was one of those with the whole town, and you're looking at it saying, how long is it going to take for this kid to do this? Is he even going to finish? Well, Joshua took his set to the kitchen table one day, and he spread everything out, and he took out the directions, and he set his box up so he could see what was going on. And lo and behold, he worked on it. He took his time. He worked on it bit by bit by bit. I would check in on him every now and then, and I would say, wow, he's really making progress. It was fascinating and exciting to see this young child being so focused on getting this done and getting it done well. And then finally, I hear this yelp. We've all heard it as parents. Mom, come, hurry up, come see. Look what I did. I finished it. We were so excited. We went and we looked and we celebrated Joshua because he had built exactly what he set out to build. Of course, as I celebrated Josh and hugged on him and kissed him and all of that, here come running Nathaniel and Grace, her brother and sister. Now, we know as parents, as adults in general, we can often foresee good things as well as bad things that may be about to happen. Well, I foresaw something not good happening as little Nathaniel, my 4-year-old, ran toward the city that Joshua had built. Now, by this time, I had come out into the dining room and I could see into the kitchen, but I wasn't right up on what Joshua had built. And before I could get to him, Nathaniel said, "Oh, Josh, let me..." And when he touched it, everything started to fall apart. Oh my goodness. If you could have seen Joshua's face, tears started to roll from his eyes. He was so upset. Like a good parent, I said, Nathaniel, I think you better leave. I looked at Joshua. I knew how hurt he was. He had spent hours on this, hours and hours on this. I said, son, take a deep breath. I put my hand on his shoulders and I said, look into my eyes. I said, son, I know you're disappointed, but if you built it once, you can build it again. Son, if you built it once, you can build it again. I want you to think about how young Joshua must have felt. He was so upset, but he listened to what I was telling him, and I wiped his tears away. I told him to take a deep breath, take a break, and go back to it. And that's exactly what young Joshua did. And to this day, when something falls apart or someone gets upset in our household, the baby, he just said it a few days ago when they recounted the story to me. It was funny. He said, Mama, I didn't mean to do it. I said, I know, baby. He said, but Joshie built it again. Not only did he build it again, but he built it stronger and he built it faster. Why are you telling me this story, Jeneen? I'm telling you this story because this is what it means to live a life based on the 4 pillars. This is what it means to build your businesses. This is what it means to be committed to living a life of passion and purpose and fulfilling your mission and your vision in all 7 key areas of life, not just one, if that's what you have decided to be, a destiny seeker. Someone who, like King David said, is determined to serve his or her generation and to die empty. It's going to take remembering that sometimes things we spend time on fall apart. But you have what it takes to take a deep breath. Take a break if you must. Wipe away your tears and your frustration and build it again. And to know that you are going to be able to build it stronger and faster than you did the first time or the second time or the third time. This is why we do what we do. This is why I've been here in this time with you, pouring my heart out, giving you the information and the inspiration you need to press forward, just like young Joshua. Because surely there's that little child inside of all of us that feels like he or she is going to crumble when things aren't quite going our way, when we worked hard on something but we're not seeing the results, when something from the outside has come and messed up what it is that we were working to achieve. But just like Joshua, you also have the strength, the courage, to pull yourself together and to move forward in spite of what has come your way. And so this is the information, the inspiration, the examples that I want to be imprinted on your heart long after this live broadcast is through. Because this is the stuff that winning is made of. This is the stuff that waking your life up is made of. You know, in our Destiny Statement Institute, we share something in our community of Be Life Scholars. Be Life Scholars are the people that graduate from our group and personal private coaching institutes. And we have something that we share in common in our community. It is a quote that I want to share with you today. And it says this: unless a man is prepared for his chance, when his chance comes, he will only look ridiculous. You see, a great occasion is only worth to a man or a woman what his or her preparation has enabled him to make of it. Unless a man or woman is prepared for her chance, when her chance comes, he or she will only look ridiculous. A great occasion is worth to a woman exactly what her preparation has enabled her to make of it. You see, this professional and personal development, this time that you are spending in investing and becoming your more excellent you, in waking up your life, and coming into a community of people who can help you get to where you need to be, that's the preparation, and it is not to be despised, because when your chance comes, destiny seekers, and your chance will come, you will be prepared. You will be prepared to seize the moment, to take the opportunities, to give yourself out to the people who have been waiting for you. And you will be able to do it without shame, without doubt, and without fear about what you have to bring to the table. Just like Joshua, you will be able to build it stronger and faster than you ever did before. And your willingness to press forward will have been observed by many who, just like Joshua's siblings and my husband and I, watched him pull himself together, watched him build it stronger and faster. And even to this day, although that was years ago, we are inspired by his testament. We are inspired by his willingness to press forward, and we remember it. And so I share that with you. You will be prepared, and you will be more excellent. Well, friends, that's our time together today. You know, I have had an amazing time with you sharing this information, and I hope that you have too. Let's talk a little bit about how we can keep in touch with one another. I love to see you or talk to you again real soon. One of the best ways that you can get in touch with my husband Omar and I is to go to Facebook and like Barlow Enterprises. Now, this way we often forget, so let me share this with you because we love to talk to you. And so you can call us. You can call us at 478-BARLOW-2. That's 478-BARLOW-2. We'd love to hear from you. And if you do not get to us when you call, rest assured that we will return your phone call. You can also reach out to us by sending us a personal message right through our website. And you can get there by going to www.bemoreexcellent.com. All of the words are spelled completely. That's www.bemoreexcellent.com. When you get to the website, simply click onto the tab that says Contact Us. You'll be able to send us a detailed message there, and we'll certainly get back to you in a timely manner. Now, what I want to do is something that I haven't done before because I don't want to leave you without giving you something. It's my birthday month, and so I was thinking about what kind of special thing could I do for my friends who I will meet this evening. I'm going to do something I've never done on a live broadcast before, and that's offer you the opportunity for private coaching with me. Now, I love to do private coaching, and with the speaking and the book, all of this, sometimes I can't do as many sessions as I like, but the joy I get from walking alongside people one-on-one and helping them get from where they are to where they want to be is something I'm not willing to totally relinquish. And so I only do 9 sessions a month. October is taken, but we have a few spaces in November, and December is open for you. Okay? November and December, we can get you in. But what I want to do is offer to you free consulting time with me in a private coaching session. What I'll do is meet with you one-on-one in a 30-minute complimentary session. And from that session, I'll produce for you an action plan from which you will be able to see my recommendations for getting from where you are to where you want to be. And so if you'd enjoy a private coaching session with me, simply click onto the link that we're providing you right now in that live news feed. Do it quickly because I only have a few spaces available, and I surely will not take more people than what I've said because I want to give each and every one of you my undivided time and attention. And so I look forward to seeing you. If you don't get into the free coaching space, that's fine. Reach out and we can make some other connection happen. Thank you so much for your time today. My name is Jeneen Barlow. I am the CEO and co-founder of Barlow Enterprises, where our mission is to inspire, educate, and equip you to live a life of excellence. We sincerely hope that in some small way we have done that today. Thank you. Have an excellent night.